So I've been receiving what seems like danger warnings, signs from the universe that something in my path ahead is dangerous. Um, and the form that these have been taking is the first one was an old man in a red car, small red car, driving towards the sunlight, the bright sunlight. But the old man was blinded by the light, and he could not see properly where he was going. And he was veering onto my side of the road, veering into my life path, seemingly. And so I had to dodge out of the way, which is why you should always be keeping an eye on what's in front of you. Um, when you're on the bike. And then a similar thing happened last night as well. I went to see my cousin, and I went through the park, and there's a Eastern European woman who has a pit bull, which is like an illegal dog, in the UK. And it's hated by many people around the world because they can be very violent, and they've attacked many people and eaten children and things like this. Um, but she's one of these people. She'll go around saying like, "Oh, it's not the dog's fault. It's the owner." Yeah, yeah. Okay, but this one doesn't seem too bad for now. But the thing is, like, they can just like snap and go crazy. Um, but yeah, I've seen her before, and this fucking pit bull just walked up to me while I was clearing like mud off my bike and checking it over and stuff. This was quite a while ago. Um, and so I had a brief conversation with this woman. But this is one reason why we should be carrying hand. We should be legally allowed to carry handguns. The other reason is all these dangerous people that the government has brought into this country. But and the criminality it's promoted in the form of chavs and roadmen and that kind of culture. But to be honest, if our laws were good enough that we were allowed to do that, then we wouldn't have these problems with these kind of people anyway. Our laws would be sensible enough that we would have a European nation still. But anyway, that's a different topic. So the pit bull was the second dangerous warning sign. So I've only seen this woman and her dog like twice. The third warning sign was a few minutes later. I was heading into the middle of town, and this bus came towards me, um, and it was going on my side of the road for some reason. And I couldn't see any reason why. It was like it was swerving around a cyclist or something in the road, like an obstruction on the left-hand side. But I looked and I couldn't see anything there, and shouldn't have been anything there. It's an important road right through the middle of town. It was very odd. That was the second danger sign. So My situation at the moment is I I had to go to court and I have to deal with this situation, but I don't see it as necessarily a big problem. Okay. Um, and part of the reason is because I have the ability to alter reality. Um, and the synchronistic messages I was getting, the numerical repeating numbers and things, were encouraging me to do that. So I did. But what the simulacrum appears to have done is like counterattack, like sidestep and counterattack what my action. And basically, like as soon as I kind of got into the car on the way home, it was like my dad was telling me like something about my mum was saying something bad about me. This was like just after the thing, like so my family started attacking me basically, even though so far the legal situation hasn't really bothered me that much. So there's this betrayal situation from my family, um, which is crazy because they didn't really care that much when I was alt-right and I was arrested for that. But they seem this area is quite nice. Oh shit. They seem and even when because I was arrested before for like threatening my mum with a fake with an electric shocking device. Like we got over that situation. Um, but it's like this is something they've known about for 2.5 years, and they're suddenly like changing their tune about it and um, attacking me, trying to betray me, and my brother particularly seems to be being very two-faced about it. I didn't realize how two-faced he was. Saying things in private that he Burrington saying things in private that he wouldn't say to me, and yeah, but it's probably my mum. The worst of the issues is coming from my mum. Um, I've never really liked my mum that much. Um, but we have to live together, so I just tolerate her. You know, she's a very strange person. She's very annoying, overbearing. There's no real wisdom or intelligence to her. She's very overweight, slovenly. A lot of the things she do like triggers my OCD kind of like it disturbs my mind, like leaving toilet paper, traces of toilet paper all over things, and just I don't know, just being disgusting kind of thing. Um, she just walks around without many clothes on. She's extremely overweight. I have this like a similar disease to her, like chronic fatigue syndrome, but I'm not anywhere near as overweight as she is. And yeah, she's always been done weird things that have psychologically disturbed me when I was a child. Like one time me and my brother were playing a video game and we said like oh yeah, we got to like a certain rank in the game, and she thought we were saying rank as in like that, like the slang kind of like curse word, and she had a go at us for that. Like she's just like not right in the head. Um, but what it is at the moment is like the ex-wife. So my brother moved here like a year ago after his wife like kicked him out, like cucked him, and like cheated on him and kicked him out of the house. She tricked him into buying like investing in a new house with him, and then like before he like properly moved in, she like kicked him out and divorced him. She's a fucking bitch, and she works for the NHS, so she's helped to kill millions of people in the past few years. She supports medical tyranny. She's not a good person. She's a statist N-word. She's a statist N-word that loves the government. And she's also a misandrist. And her mother hates men for no reason. Um, so this is the kind of person that my brother found attractive. So that should be quite revealing to you. I love this road. Similar frequencies attract. You should remember that similar frequencies attract to each other. Where's my VFR map? Oh, I'm like a river here. Eagle Scott. Yeah, so um, before before I started to receive the messages of God and things like this that helped me to see through the level of deception that we're living under here. I used to believe in. I was more of an atheist, and I believed in the uniformitarian model. So I thought, we're never gonna get to space without like raising our collective IQ, which means we need eugenics and we need to basically weed out the bad people from society. We need to be, which is not what I didn't see like this happening at all. I didn't see any of this. Like my inclinations of just common sense and philosophy were completely at odds with what I saw like society and the government was doing, which I'm sure you can all relate to now, looking at the situation that we're in, that we've gotten into. But yeah, I believed in like so determination, self-determination, self-reliance, European values. Um, not only self-defense, but the application of violence for means of policing society against immorality. Um, if people were out of line, back in the older days, it would quickly turn into a fist fight. Nowadays, it's like, oh, you'll get like 4 years in prison for like punching someone once. It's ridiculous. Like anyone that's really has their own sense of morality, like decides for themselves what's good and bad, will will have already like figured out long ago that the system that we're under is not designed to create good results for our lives and our communities. But yeah, I mean, that's what I see in anime. It's like the righteous application of violence by the most outstanding, beautiful people. That is part of it. Although there is a more liberal, like tolerance, not necessarily tolerance, but like empathetic, sympathetic aspect to it. That and that also transcends normal life, right? It's like I look at the woman. I look at the woman who was like the probation officer who was like at court in the magistrate's court, and I think like I can kind of tell like you're someone that doesn't really think much. You just go along with what the herd is doing. You're just trying to like get by, you know. You just you live for consumerism. But yeah, I think well, so I mean before I figured out the level of deception and things, I wanted to delete my parents many times, but luckily that for them that didn't happen, you know. Um, because I am relatively peaceful orientated, but the problem is people are so disrespectful, and it would never fly in the olden days. Like I just said, it would never fly. Like if someone disrespected me hundreds of years ago, you know, they would be walking through the woods near my property one day and they just get hit by an arrow. It would be very easy to deal with people. the The problem is the opposite can happen. Like several people can just decide to group together and fuck you over for no like immorally. You know, this is the problem. Like that is one of the issues with that scenario. But I do think people were more respectful in the past when things like dueling existed. So I do think the world has gotten much worse in the past 100 years, and now we're really seeing it bearing out in society. But and yeah, my parents are bad people, bad parents. They're bad at parenting. I don't know if I'd say that they're that bad people. I think that like they're kind of I think like most people are bad. This is the thing. Most people are bad in some way or another. But my parents do stand out as pretty bad in particular ways. But they are bad parents. And it may be their karma. See, my mother wants to see these two children. That my brother's children have been coming over like every weekend for the past year, can be twice a week since he got like cucked, right? My brother's children have been coming over, right? And my mother wants them to keep coming over, but the the ex-wife, the NHS nurse, has said like um, she doesn't want them to come here anymore, and so my mother is basically betraying me to try and get these two children to come here occasionally. Um, this is the kind of thing I don't like about my mother, and this is why I threatened her with electric shock. Although I was intending it more of a joke, but I just kind of like flipped, and everything she done to me had kind of like came to the surface in that moment. And so yeah, I think the reason I was given these parents is to so I can see how bad the world is. I think I was meant to observe how bad people actually are, how evil the world is, and how like different these people are to me. I think that's the reason I've been um, given these parents and my brother as well to a lesser extent. Um, Sometimes the best thing you can learn from your parents is what not to be like, right? Sometimes that's the best thing you can learn from them is what not to be like. But yeah, it could be my mother's karma. It could be my mum and dad's karma that they're not able to see these children. But I'm not sure that karma affects NPCs, because here's where I disagree with Jason. I do think most people could be NPCs, because the way my the way my parents behave and my brother behaves is very NPC like. And you'll notice that most people, like that lawyer I met, they behave very NPC like. And they're also so disrespectful. They're either being NPC like, or they're being disrespectful and two-faced, and they're treating me like differently because they perceive me as different to them. They kind of think like, oh, this person is like has autism or something, and so I have to be like two-faced and don't treat them at like at face value, which is I'm just getting pissed off with it. I'm seeing it with my brother as well, you know. But it's either that or they're NPC like, but I think it's a combination of both. I think they are NPCs, but like that is the real world cover for their behavior. Like their programming will not let them accept the real truths of life and the world. So they have to have some kind of like protection mechanism. What before I called it like segfault protection. Um, but I don't know. They could just be like bad souls or young souls. They might not necessarily be NPCs. I can't say that for certain, but a lot of the things they do are very NPC like, and it's like they never learn. They never learn or change. My brother doesn't really seem like he's changed since he was like a teenager. He's still listening to the same songs. He still kind of has the same kind of attitude and personality. My friend James from Guild Wars, who is like a very good friend of mine, although we only really knew each other on the internet, like I really like this person. Um, and it was like one of the first people in my life that I really liked, and I liked them about the same, if not more, than my girlfriend, which is crazy. But yeah. James didn't get on with Dan. He said he was an annoying little shit or something. He really rubbed James the wrong way, and I don't think Dan has changed that much since then. You know, it's like as soon as he gets out of his marriage, he's just reverting to like teenage behavior straight away. And you can't take his toys away. He gets in a strop if you turn off his Wi-Fi or try and tell him that his 5G and stuff is harming other people. He um, he thinks he's very virtuous. He thinks he's very virtuous by being a vegan and things like this, but he's happy to harm other people by supporting this Internet of Things 5G network and all this shit, like unnecessary technology that is invading our lives and taking away people's freedom and access to nature, basically. Relationship with the natural world replaced with all this stuff. Um, he's completely happy to, you know, and he probably doesn't care about the Bovaer, the chemical that they're poisoning the cows with, and the glyphosate and the chemtrails and all this shit. He probably doesn't give a fuck about it. Um, but he still thinks he's a good person. You know, you can't claim sobriety when you've adjusted to a sick society. He thinks he's a good person by like supporting this society and the collective direction. He's under this like technology delusion, like all of the Elon Musk fans are. Like he probably still believes that space is real. He probably still believes it's space. He believes in this kind of like like technological utopianism. Um, and I told him one of the greatest secrets that you can find out the fate of this civilization. And he wasn't even grateful. He didn't even acknowledge it. It's like the NPC programming just kicked in. It was like a protection mode. And I said, I kind of want to make the effort to so your children have a good life because they may not live as long as I have because of what's going to happen in the future in this world. Um, the fate of our civilization, right? So I've been like facilitating his life for like months now, you know, facilitating his whims. You know, he's had like 2 girlfriends in 6 months or something, and his children have been here so much, and they can be quite annoying, especially with the EMF that they create, the extra EMF they create. Just stamping around on the floor, running around. Um, he doesn't really like discipline them that well. He's not a terrible parent, but he's not that great either. I would guess. But I don't think he's setting a very good example for these children, to be honest. Like he's not being a normal. He's very seems to be very low testosterone. He's not being a normal masculine man, you know. He does weightlifting and stuff, but I think it's just vanity. like Sam Hyde said. But I don't think my brother really has any principles. I think he's like cowardly. He would never stand up for the real children that are really in danger in this country, like in places like Rotherham, from these foreign people who shouldn't be here. And that's not because I hate other people. It's more like seeing that they're different to us and how they don't um, get along with us without causing problems. Like I was listening to an Indian woman last night, and she was showing the UFOs in New Jersey. But at the same time, I think there's far too many Indians moving into Canada and places like that. So it's yeah, it is what it is. It's the world script. There's nothing I can do about it. But it's your emotion. It's how you feel. It's your emotional response to these things. And from him, I don't see an emotional response that suggests morality. You know, I don't think we can change the world. I think it's completely fucked. I don't think it's possible to change the world, and I've given up on that. So you shouldn't take my xenophobia or my political views as a suggestion that we can change the situation. But I do think it's possible to change things on a individual level. So if you see something happening, you can intervene, you know? Yes, you may get screwed by the enemy, but in the courts and stuff, by the enemy is controlling the government. But you can save that child or whatever it is. I can understand why people would be reluctant to do that when nobody else is doing it, you know. But I've proven that I'm the type of person that would go out on a limb for my moral beliefs. And I think that may be why I gained the favor of God. Although this might be something that happened over many, many lifetimes. I don't know what I did in previous lifetimes. But yeah, I'm just not impressed with my brother. Not impressed. He's a very immature kind of person. Yeah, I sense danger. And next year, 2025, is a nine vibrational year apparently. And it's also a nine vibrational personal year for me. It's a nine. It's supposedly it's a nine personal year. Oh, this area is beautiful. It's a nine. It's a nine vibrational year for me as well. So yeah, apparently a lot of people may check out. May check out. You know, a lot of people may check out next year because it's a nine vibration, which is endings. Is endings. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9, and then it goes back to 1 again, I think. My personal year of 9 seems to match the collective year of 9. So 9 is yeah, it's ending. So a lot of people may leave us next year, which is only 2 weeks away. But yeah, this world is so fucked. I feel like I've done enough. I feel like I've done enough here. Like Matt always says, I feel like we've done enough. You know, you never know how the future is gonna turn out. You never know, but the omens don't seem good right now. But I have I don't have any will to harm other people. Um, I don't have any will to harm other people anymore. So even if my parents like betray me and like screw me over, um, I'm probably not gonna hurt them physically. Um, I have already cast a curse on my brother though, which will hopefully begin to take effect. But I don't have much experience with witchcraft, so this was just a very simple attempt to negatively manifest and place the evil eye curse onto someone, which I've heard about before. So we will see. But if it's an NPC, then it's possible that it won't have an effect because the simulation is just going to continue doing what it wants to, and it's just going to ignore me. But I don't know. That shouldn't. I mean, if witchcraft was real, then most people would have been NPCs. So if it worked, then it should work on NPCs. This is why I disagree with Jason, because he thinks you can change your reality, but despite all that I've done, um, I have not been able to fundamentally change my situation. I'm still diseased, and more problems keep coming. Like this year, the electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Um, it does seem like a life script, or it's a satanic thing. It's like the world is attacking me because I became awakened. It's like it does feel like Satan is attacking me constantly in these past 4 years because I became awakened. That must that might be it, that might be it. Yeah, I don't I mean, I tried to do the thing that what Jason said about like manifest a positive outcome or whatever, like uh try to be like a co-creator of reality, and you set your intention of what you want, you suppress your emotions. Wow, look at this drop. Oh man, that's dangerous. My car's falling off. Yeah, you try to control your emotions because your emotions affect what you manifest, right? And stuff. And your emotions, so if you're in fear, it severs your connection to God, and it suppresses your psychic abilities. It's also, if you're too emotional, it's going to suppress your psychic abilities as well. Um, you and if you're too distracted, like if you're in a really urban environment, it's gonna like suppress your abilities. This this road is so fucked. If you're too distracted, apparently EMF as well can like screw over. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to I wanted to survive until the end. I wanted to survive until another 15 years to just see it all get destroyed, to see like all the technology get destroyed, and just maybe I wouldn't survive the initial event, but I would survive long enough to see that it was happening. But beyond that, I wouldn't have any expectation, or I don't know if I would even want to survive, because things are going to get extremely violent and difficult. Like, how are you going to get food after the first few years? Oh, it's be horrible. Like, you know, we don't even have weapons. Like, and if we did have weapons, then other people would have weapons. So it just becomes like this prepper situation where, you know, these militias will have the advantage, you know. But that's what they're trying to stop. That's why they've disarmed the UK population. Um, I think it's because they don't want people to establish a proper government, a proper like power structure with like good resources after in the post-apocalypse, because that will might make it difficult for the elites to regain their power. But yeah, we're only peaceful for their sake. Um, this is what these like retards don't realize. They think they this is what people this is what pisses me off, right? People think that normal people think that like the things that they believe in actually are democratic and based on reasoning and logical progression and societal progress. Um, but really, all they're doing is like believing what the TV tells them to think. All they are is brainwashed, but they could never see it. They just, you know, they actually think there's like legitimacy and incontrovertible truth to their opinions. Like, oh, you can't punch someone, that's really bad. You can't beat someone up because they encouraged your child to become a homosexual. You know, things like this. Um, that's illegal. I hate the people who just defer to the law and refer to the police, like about everything. These are the worst traitors. You know, it's so fucked, man. This area is really cool, isn't it? Yeah. These people are just retarded. They're just willing slaves. Yeah, you're only peaceful because it allows the bad people to do whatever they want and get away with it without being challenged. Um, which wasn't always the case, you know. But the enemy has a great um, the enemy has a great what's the word? Vengeance or grudge against the English, which is why England is so screwed. Yeah, you understand? The enemy has been screwed over by English people in the past many, many times. And that's why in the last days the enemy's been given power to rule. And that's why you've been made peaceful. So that you won't sort shit out. Like, and that's why things are so cucked, and things are going so badly, and the nation community is collapsing because people have given all their power to the state, and the state is controlled by the enemy. Um, Now, this is your immediate reality. This is governs the conditions of your life, of which you live under. But to me, it's not super relevant, to the bigger picture. The bigger picture is like, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Like, what do what do I need to do? What's gonna happen next? Like, what's gonna happen after you die? Um, these kind of things. Um, what am I not doing correct? What's true? What's false? What's right? What's wrong? How do you really judge what's once you throw out like religion? How do you really judge what's moral or not? Um, I think the golden rule is a pretty good. The golden rule is a fairly good one to go by, which is don't do things to other people that you wouldn't want them to do to yourself. Um, where it kind of breaks down is like everyone's different, so someone might not mind something that someone else really hates. Um, why is this big city here? Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, someone else might not mind something, but I still think it's pretty good. And the pornography does not break the golden rule. Any kind, I mean, any kind of pornography does not break the golden rule because you're not actually you haven't actually done anything to someone. If you pay money, if you sponsor it, then perhaps it does. But if you get it for free, then any kind of pornography does not break the golden rule. I'm not saying every type is moral, but I think you should be able to view anything. Viewing like a violent horror movie doesn't make you immoral, you know. So by this, and you can enjoy like a movie where people get like shot and stuff like that, You can enjoy that kind of thing, but it doesn't make you immoral. So why can't you enjoy like strange pornography and things like that? No, there's no real reason. We would have to debate it with God, but that time is not now. I think God is more liberal than people realize. I would imagine God is more open-minded towards various behaviors than people realize. Like Christianity and other religions are basically a form of programming for the masses. There is divine knowledge like contained within there, but it's just enough to kind of give it the appearance of legitimacy, but it is a control mechanism. Um, but you can also find divine knowledge in video games and movies. So you get what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm in a bad situation right now, and I didn't expect to be from just, you know, I expected the trouble to come from the government, not from my own family. But yeah, my brother, I'm sorry to say he will never be anything more than average. If he is a real person, he has many lifetimes to go before he can become someone like me. But this is the problem with these people is they can't, they're not, they're not morally aware, so they are also not aware when else is like morally superior to them. They're just so unaware of this like higher truths and higher morality and higher consciousness that they can't even perceive it when someone else has it and they don't. Does this make sense? So it's like fucking talking to a brick wall. You might as well talk to a goldfish, you know. You never get anywhere with these people. I miss like real people. I wish I was around real people, not these kind of NPC like people. But I do think there's a reason I was put with these people, which is why I don't move out, you know. I think being able to do my own thing whenever I want to is very helpful for research purposes and stuff, and also because of my problems. But I do think there's something to be gained from observing these flawed creatures. It will help you to create observations of reality, but I do miss real people. It's just very difficult to tell who is a real person or not as well. That's another thing. But if someone's on my level, like there's a very good chance that they are a real person.